Her treatment is expected to last for several weeks, Monaco TMS sovereign prince told People magazine. During Charlene TMS' 6-month stay in South Africa, she received several corrective surgeries after being struck down by an ear, nose and throat infection. The Princess TMS stay outside Monaco meant that she missed her and Albert TMS' 10-year wedding anniversary in June. The couple have both denied reports that their marriage is in trouble and that Charlene TMS' health issues are due to personal issues between the couple. Speaking to the Sunday Times in 2013, the princess laid bare why she wept as she tied the knot with Albert 2 years earlier. She said, "Everything was just so overwhelming and there were all the mixed emotions because of the rumors. Obviously all this tension built up and I burst into tears, immediately after the ceremony. And then I burst into tears some more because I was thinking, oh no, now the whole world has seen me cry trademark." Ahead of the royal nuptials, a swirl of reports had claimed that Charlene had been a runaway bride. French weekly newspaper Le Journal du Dimanche had reported that the princess had tried to flee Monaco on 3 occasions before the wedding. The publication reported that she had retreated to the South African embassy in Paris, where she was getting fitted for her wedding dress. She was also said to have tried to flee during the Monaco Grand Prix and was allegedly prevented from getting into a helicopter on another occasion. Charlene has denied the reports, dubbing them categorical lies. Charlene also opened up about her happy memories of her and Albert TMS time as newlyweds. She said, "It was such a wonderful 3 days. Even months afterwards I would get flashbacks and think, oh, my goodness, did I really have the Eagles playing at my wedding?" Trademark. "I think back and wonder how we managed to pull it off." This week Page 6 reported that Charlene had almost died during her spell in South Africa. The news site said it had spoken to friends of the princess, who said Monaco TMS royal family had downplayed how bad her condition really is. One source told the outlet, "It is unfair that she is being portrayed as having some kind of mental or emotional issue. We don't know why the palace is downplaying that she almost died in South Africa." Royal historian Anne Whitelock said the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who quit royal duties last year for a new life in the US, are a source of stress and uncertainty for the monarchy. However, Ms. Whitelock claimed there is a turning tide of popular sentiment against the couple. Ms. Whitelock also questioned whether Harry and Meghan will be able to retain the kind of international clout they want now they are no longer working royals. Ms. Whitelock told Express.co.uk, "I think they are a continued headache and a source of stress and uncertainty. But on the other hand, I think that there is a sort of turning tide of popular sentiment towards them. I think the fact that they seem to have been constantly harping back to their experiences within the royal family, although having said they want to step away from the royal family, and therefore sort of they want their cake and eat it, I think it's wearing a bit thin. And I think perhaps the reality of their position being essentially their public stature and standing was based on the fact of Prince Harry's membership of the royal family, and I'm not sure whether in the longer term without that they're going to retain the kind of international clout as kind of philanthropists or campaigners that they want to have really." The Sussexes quit royal duties in March 2020 for new lives of personal and financial freedom across the pond. Harry and Meghan have settled into a mansion in Montecito and have welcomed their second child since moving to California. And Harry has penned a tell-all book about his life which is set to be released next year. Since relocating stateside, the Sussexes have struck lucrative deals and announced new jobs. And they made a series of high-profile appearances as they toured New York in September. Their trip included a visit to the United Nations and finished with the pair stepping out on stage at the Harry and Meghan ended their New York tour by stepping out on stage at the Global Citizen Live concert. The former Suits actress appeared on The Ellen Show 8 months after her and Harry's sit-down with Oprah, which left the royal family in crisis. Ellen, who lives near the Sussexes in the celebrity enclave of Montecito, asked what Harry loves about California. Meghan replied, "We're just happy." Royal family has been the subject of controversial BBC documentary The Princes and the Press Trademark, presented by Amol Rajan. The first episode of the two-part programme, which aired on Monday, examined the relationship between the media and Prince William and Harry. It looked at how the princes have tried to manage the press and the tension between the roles they were born into and their desire for a private life. The documentary also revisited Harry TM's unprecedented statement in which he accused the media of crossing a line with their coverage of his relationship with Meghan. He claimed in an extraordinary 2016 statement that there had been racial undertones to the press coverage and feared for Meghan TM's safety. In the documentary, Sky News royal correspondent Rhiannon Mills recalled her surprise when the statement was first released. Ms. Mills said, "I was sitting at home, it was a weekday morning, and all of a sudden this statement drops in my inbox. And for a family, who we always hear that mantra never complain, never explain trademark, this was extraordinary." The Duke of Sussex, who at the time had only been dating Meghan for a few months, released the statement via a royal spokesperson. It was met with widespread surprise in the UK, due to its direct and outspoken language, a departure from the customary, terse royal communications. BBC royal correspondent Mr. Diamond said, "It was a hot tongue of flame, that statement, and that is not the way that a press advisor would have phrased anything. But Harry felt he wants to do it." The statement was also unique in its direct and public reference to the private life of a member of the monarchy. The statement claimed, "The past week has seen a line crossed. Meghan has been subject to a wave of abuse and harassment. Some of it has been very public, the smear on the front page of a national newspaper, the racial undertones of comment pieces, and the outright sexism and racism of social media trolls and web article comments." The palace statement also mentioned nightmarish nightly legal battles to keep defamatory statements out of newspapers, and Meghan TM's mother Doria Ragland having to struggle past photographers to get to her front door. It ended with a call for understanding of the Duke of Sussex TM's plight. It read, "He has asked for this statement to be issued in the hopes that those in the press who have been driving this story can pause and reflect before any further damage is done. He knows that it is unusual to issue a statement like this, but hopes that fair-minded people will understand why he has felt it necessary to speak publicly." The rest of the firm have been in tension with the BBC since the release of The Princes and the Press Trademark, and in a rare move Buckingham Palace, Clarence House and Kensington Palace released a joint statement criticising the show. The three royal houses said the documentary had made overblown and unfounded claims, and that it was disappointing to give credibility to such claims. The joint statement said, "A free, responsible and open press is of vital importance to a healthy democracy. However, too often it is overblown and unfounded claims from unnamed sources that are presented as facts, and it is disappointing when anyone, including the BBC, gives them credibility." The documentary had used first-hand testimony from royal correspondents and explored suggestions that negative stories about the royal family were based on information from people connected to other royal households. In response, the BBC said the programme was about how royal journalism is done and features a range of journalists and the newspaper industry. Duchess of Cambridge attended a lesson at Noah Hill High School in Harrow, Greater London on Wednesday morning. Kate was praised by the school TMS head teacher for keeping the pupils at ease during her visit. She joined Year 8 students in activities during a science class focused on neuroscience, brain development and the impact of early childhood experiences for future adults. Speaking about Kate's encounter with the students, head teacher Louise Voden told People magazine, "I never thought she would do that. She was an absolute natural. She was really interested in what they had to say and their thoughts about the materials they had been learning about. She clearly feels very passionately about it." Kate surprised the students with her visit, as the pupils were informed only a few minutes ahead of her arrival. However, the Duchess was able to make them feel at ease by reading the children's body language and knowing who is perhaps a little hesitant and nervous, the head teacher said. During the visit, Kate was photographed sitting down with children, asking them questions on the subject of neuroscience and taking part in their schoolwork. This praise of Kate's ability to speak to youngsters has been hailed by royal fans, with some addressing the Duchess as the children's princess. One Twitter user, Stormy Seas, wrote, "Of course the Duchess of Cambridge and future Queen is the children's princess." Another, called Royally Blunt, said, "We know. We've been saying this for a long time. That's the children's princess right there." Replying to this post, a third social media user, Lumac, wrote, "Maybe I'm slow, but it just occurred to me that Catherine was emulating the Queen by wearing a bright color so the children would easily be able to see her. So nice for the kids who only got a passing glance but caught sight of her because of the color." Kate's visit to Noah Hill High School comes as the Duchess continues to focus her royal work on the early years and how challenges in later life such as addiction, poor mental health and family breakdown can have their roots in the earliest years in someone TMS life. Upon bidding farewell to the students, Kate said to have been super impressed by the pupils' knowledge on the subject of brain development and their work. She added, "I completely found it interesting. It's a real passion of mine. Learning about babies' brains, about how our adult brains develop and how our early childhood influences the adults we become. Keep thinking about it, keep talking about it with your friends. Well done, I'm super impressed. Thank you for having me today." Kate's focus on the early years started a decade ago and found application in her collaboration with different patronages and in the launch, in the spring of 2018, of a steering group to investigate the link between childhood experiences and adult behavior. In January 2020, Kate launched a nationwide survey asking Britons to share their views on early childhood. The results of this poll, supported by case studies and further research, were shared during a virtual forum in November last year. Kate's work on the early childhood culminated in the launch this spring of the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood, created to drive awareness of and action on the extraordinary impact of the early years, in order to transform society for generations to come.